Halloweentime, I'm the brains and the talent behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I bring his vision to life.
He gets top billing all the time.
That's right. Go ahead, Charlie. I'll even give you the clicker.
Oh, okay.
So let's set the stage. This year 1 of Halloween at California Adventure. Many of you know about candy coordinators and what was there before. This is a whole new look, a whole new transition, and a whole new way of thinking about Halloween here at California Adventure.
Okay. For those of you who are faint of heart or get a little cruisy easily, now's your opportunity to leave the building and escape. You've been forewarned. So as Halloween falls upon Disney's California Adventure, you have the opportunity to leave now. I'm warning you.
Says the man with the bat.
Nobody's leaving. Okay, let's start. Oogie Boogie has cast a spell over Disney's California Adventure in the hopes of creating an everlasting Halloween in darkness. In darkness. Okay. I did that at my daughter's wedding. They didn't hear a word I said.
She thanked you for it.
Yeah. You guys are pretty good. Okay. So
it is Halloween.
It is Halloween. Okay.
Press the button.
I can press the button.
The button says press.
The button says press. Okay. So as our guests enter, the Esplanade, as you did, and you probably saw already, that we have our Halloween banners up. And for Disneyland, as you face the turnstiles over there, you're going to see the beautifully colorful Mickey Halloweentime banners over there, welcoming the little kids and the real families and everything else. Facing Disney's California Adventure, we get a little bit darker and a little bit edgier this year with the color palette, the grays, the whites, the purples, and the blacks. And this is all based on the Tim Burton nightmares that he has as he's chased through them by the Headless Horseman.
Well, we should probably say real quick, so Tim Burton as a child is Vincent, and Vincent has these nightmares where his dreams come alive. This was the inspiration for what we're going to show you.
Exactly. And then Oogie Boogie, he's now a tree in the branches, and as he casts a spell over Disney's California Adventure, he casts all these bats out to cover the sky in complete darkness, where now it is a place where darkness rules the night, and bats flutter with fright.
Now, with that said, when you guys came in, was Oogie Boogie talking to you?
No.
Okay. He will, and he should, but Oogie Boogie will be throwing one-liners out to the guests as they come in, like, hey, come on in and boogie with Oogie. Are you a gambling man? Things like that. Just little one-liners that are going to create a moment out there.
Yeah, and it's really great as he beckons you into the darkness of Disney's California Adventure. Okay, going through the turnstiles and then Oogie Boogie, then we go down Buena Vista Street as we start going towards Carthay. And the monorail bridge that's over there, we have the mother bat in the middle, and her babies are starting to come off of the towers and flood out into the Buena Vista Street area. And then you'll see the bunting, the banners, and what have you. As you look at the ones that are straight up and down, they're really upside down bats. You have to look carefully to see that. These are little treats that we've snuck in there throughout the whole design process.
And like with any bats, more and more bats will continue to appear throughout our 6-week run.
Okay, and our partners in Resort Enhancement, they do the windows and the decorations and everything with us. And so this is some of the stuff that you will see in the windows out there. And we've tweaked and twisted them for the time period that there is there on Buena Vista Street in the 1920s and 30s. And then we come to the wonderful Headless Horseman. This one you'll see tonight. He has special effects. He was specially sculpted for us with the Headless Horseman on it. He's filled with special effects. His nose snorts smoke. His eyes light up bright red. And the fiery pumpkin comes alive. And these are some of the early sculpts as we received him and everything from the different vendors.
Have you guys all seen the Headless Horseman? It's very, very cool. Amazing paint job by an amazing Imagineering artist. So when you look at the horse, a lot of effort was put into this one piece.
And then arriving towards Carthay Circle, you'll have the bats flying out of the belfry. You have the banners again with the upside down bats hanging on them. And Carthay Circle, it says, celebrate All Hallows Eve. And then we have a very special moment that happens out there that Dave will explain.
So we have a transition. We wanted to do this because it's not something we do at Disneyland, and we wanted to be very special to California Adventure. This is not a moment, let's all stand and look at something big happening. It's a transition that takes us from daytime into nighttime. So when our guests arrive during the day, it's very happy, it's 1920s and 30s music, everybody feels good. But at dusk, when the witching hour starts, the park becomes transformed. And we hear that for the first time as the bells toll in Carthay Tower, which has never happened since Carthay in 50 years was built. We also hear the bats fluttering through the sky, and we hear Oogie Boogie for the first time beckoning darkness to take over. Now, when that moment happens, that's when our nighttime new lighting comes up, our Halloween lighting, and the park now has been transformed. There's also a moment that happens in Cars Land that does the same thing, that brings Cars Land to life. So again, these are just transitionary moments from day to night to let the guests know that something has happened. Very different and very specific to California Adventure. What's next?
That's it.
And we're going to actually show you guys more of it out there. It's really cool. So,
They're going to get the hook and take us off the stage.
we had 9 months worth of work to put into 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. We're so excited for you guys to come and see Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters After Dark. As many of you are probably aware, we opened Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout back in May. It's here at California Adventure. And in this attraction, we help the Guardians break out of the Collector's Fortress because we were recruited by Rocket to help him break out his friends. So it's a prison break story where we escape from the Collector, and we have multiple different versions of that breakout experience for our guests to try. So with Monsters After Dark, as guests are coming back, they are literally coming back moments later after the Mission Breakout mission. So they have, in Mission Breakout, they blew the generator, they opened the cages, they let out all the creatures. Well, that's exactly the state that the fortress is in when they come back minutes later. So as they approach the exterior, they'll see new lighting on the outside. It's in a warning mode, sort of like an emergency mode that, because of us, we put it into. So you'll see red lights flashing, you'll see electricity that moves up the building, that crackles and pops on the exterior. So that's all new for this attraction. They'll also see the cast members have put on their first responder vests. So our Tavon staff, in such an emergency, would put on their first responder vests. And if you look closely, you'll see that maybe they've seen a little bit of action as they started to try to, get all those creatures back into their cages. So they might have some dirt or some slobber on them as well. But they will tell you, all is well, please come on in. We're continuing the tours, please come on into the fortress. And as you go inside, you'll see that the lobby has shifted. We've shifted the tone sort of like of everything. So when you go into the lobby, you'll see everything has gone to these reds of this emergency state. Again, this is because of us. So you'll see them flashing, you'll hear emergency horns. The cage that used to have a living creature in it is kind of closed. The cast members went and put up the drape around it to make sure that it didn't seem like there was anything wrong, but that's because the creatures have escaped. And you'll also see in this display on the far wall where the Collector usually puts his welcome message that it's trying to play, but it's having trouble. So it keeps switching to different feeds throughout the fortress of security cameras. And we see Tavon's staff trying to wrangle these creatures together, running through the building. Clearly there's still a little bit of chaos happening in other parts of the building. And Afeda, who is the Collector's assistant, will come on every now and then and talk directly to us and try to reassure us that everything is fine while there's all this chaos happening behind her. But the cast members have been told to keep the show running, so they keep letting us go through the building. So they'll usher us into Tavon's office, and here is where we encounter Rocket. So he doesn't see us at first. He's trying to hack into the system and use the Collector's system to find to find Groot in the building. So once he sees this little heat signature, that's when he notices us and tells us what's happened, which at the end of Mission Breakout, when all the Guardians left, they accidentally left Groot behind. They thought he was going to get on the ship, but you know, he's kind of like a little kid and he just ran off. So rockets come back to try to rescue him. And once he notices that we're here and we helped him out last time, he realizes, I think I could use you guys. If you could help me out here, there's all these creatures that are loose in the building. I could really use your help if you could just like wave your arms, like get on that gantry lift, wave your arms, try to distract them. I'll grab Groot, it'll be fine, we'll get out of there. And of course, you know, nothing could go wrong. This is a great plan, or at least like 11% of one. When we go into the next room, it's our maintenance bay. And here again, you see that color shift. We now have these searchlights that are looking for creatures, kind of like scanning the area erratically. You'll also see shadows of creatures, maybe over here, over there, because we do have those creatures loose. So you'll see these little shadows of them from up above, like maybe they're climbing through the ductwork or up, along the ceiling. And then we'll board our gantry lift. So, and here's where I talk about the music, because music is such an important part of the Guardians of the Galaxy experience. So for Monsters After Dark, we worked with Tyler Bates, who was the composer that worked with us, both for Mission Breakout and for the for the two films, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volumes 1 and 2. And so he created an original composition for Monsters After Dark, titled Monsters After Dark. And in this song, he actually designed the music to work with the motion of the ride. So as you're experiencing these ups and downs, as you're encountering these scenes with Rocket and Groot, the music follows you with this experience, with the motion, with what you're physically going through. And it hits that tone of feeling both having that humor of Guardians, having that character, but also having a little bit of a creepiness towards Halloween, a little bit of a threat, because we're in this sort of dangerous situation, but also having that fun spirit that we all know and love with Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's done in a 70s punk rock style. I'm really excited for you guys, because the best way to experience that song is to actually write it. So, you know, we go on our journey. We will help Rocket as best we can distract this big hero creature that we have that's chasing the two of them. Turns out that, you know, he kind of keeps chasing Rocket and Groot, but in the end, you know, we'll rescue Groot, or, well, spoiler, sorry. You guys will get to experience that later. And with that, I want to take some questions, and I think Michelle's going to help us moderate those.
So we have a couple of people with microphones. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and Nicole or Ophelia will stop by. We've got time for a few with Steph here about Monsters After Dark. All right.
Hi, my name's Brittany. My question is regarding music. Is there more than one song, or is there just one? I'm just curious.
Yeah, good question. For Monsters After Dark, we just have the one song to go with the experience.
Thank you.
Another question right here in the front, Doug. Thank you.
Hi. How many of the original cast members or voice cast were involved in creating Monsters After Dark?
Yeah, so this one, again, sort of focuses on Rocket and Groot. So we have Rocket and Groot, the voice talent from our original attraction. We also have the collector's assistant, Afeda, who is in the welcome video, and you also hear her voice through the attraction as well. We have some of the Tavon staff that's running through the backgrounds as well. You might recognize when you go to ride the ride, because they were cast members that actually run the attraction for us.
Any others? It's a little bit hard to see here, sorry, with the lights looking up there. Oh,
Thank you.
Wow. So Steph, I'm always curious, do you have, there's so many, you can't pick just one, but like a favorite part of this transformation?
One thing, what I like about it is that we really tried to make Monsters After Dark as different as possible from Mission Breakout, while still maintaining that Guardians spirit and the spirit of these characters. So that's like, I mean, just from the lighting to the music to the story, just trying to make it as kind of like different an experience as possible, that I think guests will understand, like, this is a new attraction. we just opened it, a few months ago, and we've already sort of created something that's a totally different experience.
Okay, we have one more right here, Liz.
Will the ride also experience a transition from daytime to dusk to when the actual ride starts?
So the exterior, you'll see a transition between the two shows, and then there'll be a light up moment, and then that will run throughout the rest of the evening. For the guests that ride Mission Breakout, they'll ride that, and then once we transition over, then it'll just be Monsters After Dark.
And I think we have one from Adrian right here.
How far into the design process for Mission Breakout did you guys start incorporating the ideas for Monsters After Dark?
Towards the end. So this was actually put together very, very quickly. So I'd say in the spring was when we first started talking about it. And the other thing, actually, I forgot to mention too, that you might be interested in, just in the grand, Disney Marvel fashion, we do have some Easter eggs that we've kind of peppered through the attraction as well that you guys can take a look out for.
Fun to look forward to as you ride this evening. We have time for one more? Okay, Laura, thank you.
Are the drop sequences significantly different for Monsters After Dark?
They're similar to Mission Breakout. I think what's most different is the music. So when you experience the music and the lighting, that's how it's going to feel more different. But it's the same ride system. But I do think the music and sort of just the whole mood makes it feel pretty different.
Great, well thank you so much, Steph, and thank you Dave and Charlie. We have a hand for our wonderful Imagineering team.